Greetings, my dear friend. I am very happy that you are watching my video, and I will be even happier if you subscribe to my channel. This will make me even happier. Let's get started. I glance down at the ring encircling my finger and exhale slowly, the air heavy with uncertainty. What a mess this has turned into, I murmur to no one, already envisioning the years slipping past me like water through cupped hands. Is this really what you had in mind for me, Brandon? I call out into the silence of the apartment, half laughing, though the thought of growing old with only cats and microwave dinners for company feels far too plausible. Cut to Natalie's living room, glowing with warm lamplight, mellow tunes humming in the background, and half-empty wine bottles scattered across the coffee table. We're huddled on her giant sectional couch, wrapped in throw blankets, the air cozy and comfortable. I've staked my claim in the coziest corner, sipping a second glass of Merlot while the conversation meanders from petty work gripes to the inevitable topic, relationships. So, what's the latest with Brandon? Melanie asks, curling her legs under her, her tone gentle but probing. Any plans for the big day yet? I rotate my glass slowly, the deep red liquid catching glimmers of light. It's going, I reply. He's reliable. Even I can hear the flatness in my voice. Natalie raises an eyebrow, giving me that sharp, slightly amused look she reserves for when she's worried. Reliable? Not exactly the stuff of epic love stories. I lean in a bit, dropping my voice as if the room's walls might spill secrets. I smirk. He's grounded. Definitely not the spontaneous type. Nothing like Adrian. Natalie perks up. Adrian. The guy from the gym? Wow, he was something else. My face breaks into a grin as the memories come flooding in. Remember that time we nearly got caught sneaking into the gym after hours? The whole group bursts into laughter, and I shake my head, amused by the wild streak of my past. Brandon, though? Let's just say the most daring thing he's done lately is forget to turn off the bedside lamp. The room explodes in laughter, the wine loosening tongues and blurring lines. And don't even get me started on the, hardware comparison, I add, rolling my eyes dramatically. Adrian's workout gear left very little to the imagination. Brandon's more modest, compact even. More laughter. It's reckless, yes. But something about saying it out loud feels cathartic, even if I know I'm pushing boundaries. But isn't that what nights like these are for? Melanie leans over, refilling her glass and mine. So why say yes then? Why get engaged if you're not sure? I shrug, extending my glass toward her. He's a good guy. Steady job, owns his place, doesn't play games. And honestly, I'm not exactly a fresh-faced 22 anymore. I take another sip, my voice carefully composed, though even I don't quite believe myself. Adrian was passion, sure, but forever material? Not really. Sometimes you have to make smart choices. Lead with logic, not feelings. So you settled, Natalie says, her voice soft but pointed, cutting through the haze with unsettling clarity. I flinch, just slightly. I wouldn't call it settling, I say quickly, though a crack runs through my words like a fracture line. All right, maybe I did, a bit. I chuckle, trying to brush it off. Isn't that what growing up means? Trading chaos for comfort. The subject drifts to Melanie's latest app-date disaster, but my mind stays behind, circling the things I just confessed. I'm not unhappy with Brandon. He's gentle, he's loyal, and he truly cares. Sure, the fire doesn't blaze like it once did. We're more routine than romance lately, but isn't that just the reality of long-term love? Don't we all give something up? Then I hear a soft sound, the faint creak of the front door. I glance toward it and go rigid. Brandon is standing there motionless. His eyes meet mine, stunned and unblinking, as if he's just walked into a crash and can't quite look away. My heart sinks. He'd mentioned he might come by to pick up his charger, but I never imagined he'd actually show. The laughter still echoes faintly, but now it feels jagged, cruel. His face says it all. He heard everything. I never made it to the door before I heard the laughter echoing from the hallway. I paused, unsure whether to knock or retreat. And then her voice broke through. Morgan, unmistakable, laughing with her friends, laughing about me. Each word hit like a hammer. She joked about our bedroom life, compared me to some old flame, and worst of all, said she chose me not out of love, but out of logic. Because I was safe. I backed away slowly, numb. Whatever I'd come for, it no longer mattered. I needed to leave. Fast. The night was cold, but offered no comfort. I wandered aimlessly before ending up at the bar around the corner. Barry, the bartender, gave a nod as I took my usual seat. The usual, Brandon? Make it a double. I barely noticed him pour. All I could do was sit with the sting of her words, the private things she turned into jokes, not just teasing, betrayal. But what stayed with me more than the humiliation was something deeper, darker, the realization that I had never once doubted her. I believed in her, in us. Yet tonight, hearing the affection in her voice as she reminisced about someone else, the dismissiveness in her tone when talking about me, I couldn't help but ask myself, if I'm the backup plan, the one she settled for, was she ever truly mine to begin with? The reasoning was hard to ignore. If she honestly felt she'd settled, if the excitement was truly missing, what would stop her from running after it the second it came back into view? The rational side of my mind processed it with brutal efficiency, like checking boxes on a list. She'd admitted to her friends she picked comfort over chemistry, and if she truly believed she'd given up something vital, what was to keep her from eventually chasing the feeling she thought she lost? I looked down and realized the glass in front of me was empty. I didn't even remember finishing it. Barry, the bartender, made his way over with a cautious look. "You good, Brandon?" he asked gently. The truth left my mouth before I could filter it. "Just found out my fiancé sees me as the guy she settled for," I said. Saying it out loud made it land even harder. I took a deliberate sip from the fresh drink Barry slid over, letting the sharp burn of the whiskey mirror the pain of her confession. "You know what cuts the deepest?" I asked, fixing my gaze on him. "She told them I'm the reliable, boring one. The safe bet. The guy she went with because the so-called passionate types never stuck around, like I was a backup plan that finally answered the phone." Barry exhaled slowly, shaking his head. His eyes softened. "Damn, man. That's rough. But the real question is, what now?" he added. That was the crux of it. It wasn't just that she'd told her friends something private. It was that she'd offered them a glimpse into how she really saw us. How do you keep moving forward when it hits you? You weren't her first choice? That you're acceptable, but not the person she dreams about? My phone buzzed again. Another text from Morgan. "Where are you?" Getting worried. "Everything okay? Please call me." I stared at the screen, mind spinning. Was she really concerned? Or just scared at the idea of losing the guy she counted on when Plan A fell through? The guy who checked every sensible box but left something missing in her heart. I sighed and dragged my hand through my hair, the weight of it all bearing down. "Barry," I said quietly, "you know what's killing me?" He leaned in, giving me his full attention. "It's that I really thought we were in this together, that we saw the same future." I placed the glass back down and looked him square in the eye. It's not just what she said. It's that she basically told her friends she's still hoping for someone better. Barry, calmly wiping down a tumbler, gave a knowing nod. "Been tending bar for over 20 years. I've seen this before. Usually goes one of two ways. Either they hold out for that better someone and walk away, or they stay and both people end up miserable." I nodded slowly, the truth of it cutting through everything else. This wasn't jealousy speaking. It wasn't about being insecure. This was me finally seeing things clearly. Morgan had shown her hand, maybe not directly to me, but to those she trusted. And now I knew. She'd made a compromise. And once that realization set in, I couldn't pretend everything was fine. I finished the rest of my drink and stood from the stool with an eerie sense of calm. I couldn't erase what I'd heard. I couldn't unfeel what it meant. We needed to talk, and I had to be ready for her to dismiss it as harmless gossip. But that wasn't enough anymore. "Thanks, Barry," I said, placing more than enough cash on the bar. I turned to go, mentally bracing for the storm ahead. I stopped in my tracks the moment I saw her, heart racing despite my best efforts to stay composed. "What did you hear?" she asked, her voice shaky with unease. I didn't answer right away, just looked at her, steady and unreadable. "I heard everything, Morgan. I heard you tell your friends I'm the safe choice, that you missed the fire you had with your ex, and a whole lot more." I exhaled slowly. Honestly, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Her face went pale. I could see the gears turning as she searched for a way to downplay it. But something in my expression must have told her I wasn't buying it. "Brandon, come on," she said, forcing a laugh. "It was just girl talk. You know how we exaggerate sometimes for laughs." "Girl talk?" I repeated, voice even. "That wasn't a joke, Morgan. You laid out a case for why you think I'm not enough. You made it clear I'm the guy you picked because the ones you really wanted never committed. You painted me as the runner-up in your own love story." She looked like she wanted to argue, but no words came. Because deep down, she knew I was right. "I get that everyone vents now and then," I continued, softer now but no less firm. "But if I'm just the fallback plan, I deserve to know that. I can't be with someone who sees me as their insurance policy." Her eyes fell to the floor, guilt flickering across her face. She hadn't meant for me to hear it, but now that I had, she couldn't deny the truth. She wanted stability, yes. But did she ever stop to consider what that cost both of us? When she finally looked back at me, I already knew. This wasn't just a confrontation. It was a goodbye. His expression is unmoved, hard, distant, as if any warmth has drained from his face. But beneath the stillness, there's something new in his eyes. A quiet determination, composed and unfamiliar. "I don't think I do get it, Morgan," he says softly, voice even but edged with something final. Frustration rises in me fast and fierce like a match to gasoline. "I was venting, Brandon. Just unloading. It didn't mean I don't care about you or our relationship. Sometimes people just need to blow off steam, that's all." He doesn't move, doesn't blink. His gaze remains fixed, steady, impenetrable. "There's a line between letting off steam and what you said," he responds, pausing briefly. When he speaks again, his voice is lower, heavier. "You talked like I was the consolation prize, like I'm who you settled for. You might not have meant it that way, but that's not how lasting relationships are built." I exhale sharply and scoff, disbelief laced through my voice. "Come on, you're really going to turn this into some kind of turning point just because you overheard one dumb conversation?" He takes a small step backward, like he needs space to steady himself. "Maybe I am. Because this isn't only about the words you said, it's about what those words reveal." I open my mouth to push back, but nothing comes. I hesitate, tongue frozen. He's never stood his ground like this, never looked at me with this kind of detachment, and that's when I feel it. He might actually be questioning us. There's a distance in his eyes, like he doesn't quite recognize me. Fine. If he wants to get serious, I can match him. If a harmless chat between girlfriends rattles you this much, then maybe your issue is with your own insecurity, I shoot back, narrowing my eyes. "I'm sure your buddies say way worse about the women they date." His reply is quiet, almost a whisper. "Actually, they don't. We talk about our partners with respect." "Oh, come on." I feel heat climbing up my neck. "Let's not pretend guys are innocent. You think I don't know about locker room talk? At least I was joking around with close friends, not airing it out online." He tilts his head slightly. "You still don't get it." Get what? That you're making a mountain out of a girl's night joke? That you're spinning this into some betrayal of trust? No, he says, clear and calm. I understand it perfectly. I take a step closer, softening my tone, hoping to diffuse the tension. Brandon, seriously. You know I love you. I chose to be with you. If that were really true, he replies, then this wouldn't be tearing us apart. If you were confident in us, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But something's changed. Normally, when I speak like this, his defenses drop. He leans in. This time, though, he stays still, closed off. His gaze is sharp, unwavering. You didn't choose me, he says. You settled. That's what you told them. It was nothing, I snap, voice rising. People say stuff. It doesn't mean anything. I didn't lie or cheat. I just talked. There's a dull pressure behind my temples. This isn't how this was supposed to go. He shouldn't have heard that. And even if he did, he should have shrugged it off. He knows me. He shouldn't be taking this so seriously. You're making this way bigger than it is, I insist, trying to reassert control. Just take a second and think logically. But the look on his face is unshaken, and I realize I'm not getting through to him, and that burns. Who is he to act like I've crossed some moral line? Since when is it wrong to vent to your friends about your relationship? He's the one overreacting, not me, right? The room feels tighter now, like the air itself is closing in around us. The silence between us is thick, heavier than I've ever felt. I'm trying to make him understand that this is his overreaction, not my mistake. My eyes fall on my engagement ring, resting on the coffee table. I always take it off before meeting the girls, saying it snags on sweaters when we hug. Funny how obvious everything feels in retrospect. Everybody shares stuff about their relationships, I say, sarcasm dripping. It's completely normal. He gives a small nod, voice steady. Okay, then you wouldn't mind if I told my friends intimate things about your body? Said you were looser than my ex? That I think I settled too? The color drains from my face. My lips part, but no words follow. That's not the same thing. Isn't it? He asks, unwavering. Because it just isn't, I snap. Why are you doing this? He nearly laughs, but catches himself. You know what's really telling, Morgan? You're not upset about how I feel. You're upset you got caught. You're only upset because I caught what you said. Of course I'm upset you heard it, she fires back, voice taut and defensive. I knew you'd blow it way out of context. You always do. Blow it out of context? I echo, shocked. So now trust, closeness, and dignity are all up for grabs? The weight of the moment drops inside me like a stone into deep water, sending silent shockwaves through my chest. Let me ask you this, I say, stepping around the coffee table. If it's really harmless, why are you dodging the conversation? Why can't I dissect your body with my buddies, throw around comparisons, swap notes? That's not the same, she says sharply, the edge in her voice betraying nerves. It's completely different when girls talk. We're just being open with each other, she adds, almost indignantly. Open? You call rating your partners and mocking their bodies being open? Like you're sorting through a clearance bin? You're twisting this, she barks, her features hardening, defenses slamming into place. This is exactly why I keep things to myself. You're too fragile. No, I say, more evenly than I expect. The calmness surprises both of us. You don't confide in me because deep down you don't hold me in high regard. Somewhere along the way I became the reliable backup, the predictable, boring safety net. That's not fair, she protests, trying to interject, but I lift a hand to stop her. Morgan, I say, picking up her engagement ring from the table and gently placing her spare key beside it. I'm not someone you settle for. Her expression collapses into panic, her eyes wide and unblinking. Brandon, don't do this. You're not thinking clearly. You can't just walk away over one dumb conversation. You're right. It's not just that conversation. It's what it uncovered. The absence of respect, the erosion of trust, and the cracks in the foundation we were supposed to be building. I glance at the ring in my palm, then back at her face. Be honest. If Adrian called tomorrow and said he wanted to come back and build a life with you, what would you do? The silence between us is suffocating. Yeah, that's what I thought. Brandon, please, she whispers, the fight in her voice giving way to desperation. You're overreacting. The girls and I, we didn't mean it. I'll have them talk to you. They'll explain. And there it is. I slip the ring into my pocket. You still think this is about wounded pride? No. It's about finally understanding I deserve more than being with someone who can't see my worth. So that's it? Her voice now has a sharp, venomous edge. You're throwing everything away because your ego got nicked? No, Morgan. I'm leaving because you've made it clear I was never your first choice, and I refuse to be anyone's plan B. I turn toward the door. Her voice trails after me like flung darts. You're being dramatic. This is insane. You're ending 5 years over something so petty. But with each step I take, the heaviness begins to lift. The anger slowly dissipates, replaced by something quieter, something like clarity, maybe even peace. There's pain in the choice, but there's no uncertainty. As I shut the door behind me, I hear her sobbing. A month ago, I might have stopped. Tonight, that sound only confirms I've finally done what I needed to. Some things, once shattered, aren't meant to be pieced back together. I can't wrap my head around what just happened. The door has barely closed before my fingers are trembling across my phone screen, typing frantically into our group chat. Emergency. Brandon overheard everything. He's leaving. Call me now. Natalie and Melanie are on the line within seconds. Tears have smeared my mascara, but if I'm honest, I'm more angry than heartbroken. He's completely lost it, I snap, pacing like a caged animal. He barged in like we'd committed a damn crime. You guys have to help me fix this. What do you want us to say? Natalie asks, wary. I don't know, I exclaim, panic rising up my throat. Call him. Tell him we were just venting, joking around, that this is how girls talk. My voice cracks. He took the ring. You guys, he actually took it. Maybe if we all say sorry, Melanie starts. I'm not apologizing. I cut her off before I can think. I pause, realizing how that sounds. I need them on my side. I mean, we didn't do anything wrong. That's just how we talk when we're frustrated. He's the one being ridiculously sensitive. But even as the words leave my mouth, I feel it in my gut. Something's wrong. The way he looked at me as he walked out. I've never seen that look before. This wasn't just another blowout fight. This time I can't laugh it off, can't throw on a cute smile and wait for him to come back. Oh, God. I drop onto the couch, breath shallow and uneven. You don't understand, I whisper. It took everything I had just to get him to propose in the first place. Can you fathom the lengths I went to for this? 6 months of careful, calculated suggestions. 3 full months of strategically placed bridal magazines. More than once, we happened to stroll past engagement rings under softly lit windows. All that groundwork, gone in an instant. And what brought it down? One impulsive night out with the girls. Maybe he just needs a bit of time, Natalie suggests, well-meaning but clueless. The tears are flowing freely now. I'm 35. Do you understand how rare it is to find a man with a good job and the desire to settle down? Someone not still crashing with his parents, not drowning in debt? Melanie tries to console me, but the words keep pouring out. At this stage of life, dating feels like wandering a barren land littered with bitter divorcees and commitment-phobic man-children. But Brandon wasn't one of them. I catch myself before replaying his final words. He was steady. He had direction. Maybe that's the issue, Natalie says softly. If what drew you in was how secure he was. Don't even start, I interrupt sharply. You were the one who asked if I was compromising. You brought up Adrian. The silence that follows is dense, almost suffocating. I look down at the finger that should have had a ring by now. This can't be happening, I murmur. I'm going to end up alone. I'll die in a shoebox apartment surrounded by cats. I raise my voice, shouting into the emptiness. Is that what you want, Brandon? Me becoming the cliché cat lady? My phone vibrates. It's him. I'll come by tomorrow to get my things. Please have them ready. No. No, no, no. I begin to type a reply. Erase it. Try again. Should I apologize? Say the wine clouded my judgment? Play on his emotions? Plead with him not to destroy 3 years over one dumb night? Listen, I say into the phone, my voice trembling. When Brandon gets here tomorrow, I need you both to be with me. We have to show him this was nothing, just some silly talk between friends. Morgan, Melanie interjects gently. Maybe that's not the best. Forget it. I hang up, seething. So much for solidarity. I storm into the bathroom and confront my reflection. 33. The number glares back at me like a sentence. Sure, Brandon had his downsides. Sure, sometimes I wished for more excitement. But he was supposed to be my constant. The proof that I wouldn't have to face what's ahead alone. Idiot, I mutter, wiping away mascara streaks. Total idiot. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. He wasn't meant to see the full picture, not really. He was supposed to stay inside the neat little future I crafted for us. Feel grateful I chose him. Or settled. Whichever word fits. What on earth am I going to tell my mother? She's already buried in wedding spreadsheets, and my baby sister's big day is coming in June. I can't be the only one still single. I won't be. Our story comes to an end here. Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed this story, please check out other videos on this channel. See you soon, my dear friend.